From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, February the 3rd, 2021. The IDF said that anti-aircraft missiles were fired towards an IDF UAV during routine activity over Lebanon today. The unmanned aircraft was not hit, and they wrote, "We continued our mission as planned." The Times of Israel said the firing of missiles at the Israeli drone was seen as an escalation of conflict along Israel's northern border. Israel's Foreign Minister Gabi Ashkenazi spoke over the phone yesterday with Morocco's foreign minister, tweeting that he had a warm and friendly first conversation with Nasser Bourita. Ashkenazi wrote, "We agreed to work together to rapidly implement the agreements between Morocco and Israel. We also discussed increasing bilateral cooperation as well as wider regional issues." The head of Israel's Liaison office in Morocco, David Govrin, arrived in the capital of Rabat last week. He told the Times of Israel, "We are trying to expand our bilateral ties with the Moroccans in many different fields. The potential," he said, "is very high. The hope is that full diplomatic ties will be established soon with Morocco, and with that, full embassies where Govrin would likely be Israel's ambassador to the North African country." Israel and Morocco, if you recall, had announced a re-establishing of ties back in December, saying they would work to resume official bilateral ties and diplomatic relations as soon as possible. Govrin told the Times of Israel that Israel would like to establish our full diplomatic relations as soon as we can, though the Moroccan government seems to be taking it slow. Alejandro Mayorkas was confirmed by the Senate as the new Homeland Security Secretary yesterday. Mayorkas is the first Latino and first immigrant to serve in the position. Born in Cuba to a Cuban Jewish father and a Romanian Jewish mother, who was a Holocaust survivor, her family having fled to Cuba in the 1940s. Mayorkas joins fellow Jewish cabinet secretaries in the State Department Antony Blinken, Treasury Janet Yellen, and the new National Director of Intelligence, Avril Haines. Jewish organizations welcomed remarks made earlier this week by a member of the State Department that President Joe Biden's administration embraces and champions the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, a definition that includes the singling out of the State of Israel beyond standard criticism. The Deputy Assistant Secretary of State, Kara McDonald, told an experts meeting on anti-Semitism run by the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe this past Monday that we must educate ourselves and our communities to recognize anti-Semitism in its many forms so that we can call hate by its proper name and take effective action. That is why the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's working definition of anti-Semitism with its real-world examples is such an invaluable tool. She said, as prior U.S. administrations of both political stripes have done, the Biden administration embraces and champions the working definition. She also urged other countries and international bodies to adopt it as well. The leaders of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, Arthur Stark, William Daroff, and Malcolm Hoenlein, commended the administration's robust and unqualified endorsement of the definition, which they wrote reflects the broad support that exists for the most authoritative and internationally accepted definition of anti-Semitism, as well as the widespread view that it is critically important to define anti-Semitism in order to combat it successfully. Well, the Golden Globe nominations were announced today. Among the Jewish nominees, Israeli actress Shira Haas, known for her work on the hit Netflix series from Israel, Shtisel. Haas was nominated in the Best Actress category for her work in another Netflix show, Unorthodox. The show was also nominated for Best Limited Series. Other Jewish nominees include Eugene Levy and son Dan Levy, each nominated for Schitt's Creek, Andy Samberg for Palm Springs, and Sacha Baron Cohen for Borat subsequent movie film, and for Trial of the Chicago 7, which was also nominated for Best Motion Picture Drama, as was its director and screenwriter, Aaron Sorkin. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, February the 3rd at 7 o'clock, we hear from Auschwitz and Bergen-Belsen survivor Esther Geisels on Witness. At 8, Robert Siegel speaks with Dr. Erwin Redlener, Dr. Peter Hotes, Dr. Jason Schwartz, Dr. Ofer Levy, and Dr. Michael Drescher, who speak about the coronavirus vaccine rollout. At 9, Rabbi Mordechai Becker discusses Talmudic passages which address the ethical issues in the debate over whether saving a life should preclude a lifting of the current COVID-19 lockdown. At 10, author and scholar David Kaufman talks about the impact of Jewish celebrity on Jewish identity. And coming up next, it's Thinking Out Loud. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, February the 3rd, 2021. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well.